Namaste to all the students. I, JVN Dr. Ekta Rana, Assistant Professor of English in Faculty of Education and Methodology. I welcome you in the lecture of English Literature. Our today's topic is types of literature. Literature is a body of written works. The name has traditionally been applied to those imaginative works of poetry and prose distinguished by the intentions of their authors and perceived by aesthetic excellence of their execution. Literature may be classified according to a variety of systems including language, national origin, historical period, genre, and subject matter. For historical treatment of various literatures within geographical region, I can recommend the literatures like African literature, oceanic literature, Western literature, and then after that Central Asian arts, South Asian arts, Southeast Asian arts. And some literatures are treated separately by languages, by nation, or by special subjects. They are like Latin literature, French literature, Japanese literature, Arabic literature, Celtic literature, biblical literature. Okay, and now the definition of the word literature tend to be circular. In the 11th edition of Merriam-Webster's Collegiate Dictionary, and the literature is writing having in excellence of form or expression and expressing ideas of permanent or universal interest. In the 19th century, critic like Walter Pater referred that it is the matter of imaginative or artistic literature as a transcript not of mere fact, but of fact in its infinitely varied forms. But such definitions assume that the reader always knows what literature is, and indeed its central meaning at least is clear enough. Okay, like litera is a Latin word which means a letter of the alphabets. Literature is first and foremost humankind's entire body of writing. After that, it is the body of writing belonging to a given language or people, but it is individual pieces of writing. But already it is necessary to qualify these statements. To use the word writing when describing literature is itself misleading, for one may speak of oral literature and other is the literature of preliterate peoples. The art of literature is not reducible to the words of the page. They are therefore solely because of the craft of the writing. Okay. As an art, literature might be described as the organization of words to give pleasure, yet through words literature elevates and transforms experience beyond mere pleasure. Literature also functions more broadly in society as both as criticizing and affirming cultural values. Okay. And then coming to the scope of literature, there is the scope of literature. Actually, literature is a form of human expressions, but not everything expressed in words. Okay, even when organized and written down is counted as literature. Those writings that are primarily informative, technical, journalistic, scholarly should be excluded from the rank of literature by most, though not all, at all, critic. Certain forms of writing, however, are universally regarded as belonging to literature as an art. Okay. Now, individual attempts within these forms are said to succeed if they possess something called artistic merit and to fail if they do not. The nature of artistic merit is less easy to define than to recognize. The writer need not even pursue it to attain it. On the contrary, a scientific exposition might be of great literary value and a pedestrian poem of none at all. The purest, or at least the most intense literary form, is the lyrical poem, and after it comes elegiac, okay, elegy, which we say elegy, then epic, then dramatic, narrative, and expository verse. Most theories of literary criticism base themselves on an analysis of poetry because the aesthetic problems of literature are there presented in the simplest and purest form. Poetry that feels as literature is not called poetry at all, but verse. It is called verse. Many novels, certainly all the world's great novels, are literature, but there are thousands that are not so considered the part of literature. Most great dramas are considered literature. Although the Chinese possesses of one of the world's greatest dramatic traditions, consider their plays, with few exemptions, to possess no literary merit, however, whatsoever. Okay. Thank you for today.